am so happy to be back reporting in my hometown, but also a lot of the people who are here today are excited to be back because the National Puerto Rican Day Parade took a 2-year hiatus due to COVID-19 pandemic. Today I have Art Addict with me. She is the painter for these amazing paintings on the Beltline. So Art Addict, tell me, how does it feel to have your paintings all over the Atlanta Beltline? That's huge. As you can see, several people have already started to line up behind me as they begin to pay their respects to Takeoff and his family. Tonight, a mother says she feels helpless after her child was denied a COVID-19 test. In less than 24 hours, NABO super middleweight champion Edgar Berlanga will take center stage against two-time title challenge Alexis Angulo in the 10-round main event at the Hulu Theater at Madison Square Garden. Hey, congratulations on making your debut as a director. I saw the movie and it was amazing. Tell me, who was some of your inspirations when it came to directing and putting this movie together? Instagram, Facebook, this woman's fight against COVID-19 goes viral. She tells me it was one of the biggest fights of her life.
How important is it for viewers to see a predominantly all-Black cast?
I think it's paramount.
I am at one of the city's hottest events tonight. Hot 107.9 is celebrating 25 years of hip-hop in the ATL. Today is the big day. It is election day across the nation, and we are here live in Atlanta at the C.T. Martin Recreation Center, where so many people have been coming in and out of the doors behind me to cast their ballot. A local Atlanta woman is using her company to bridge the gap between inmates and their children. How her act of kindness has touched over 50 families in the metro Atlanta area. Hundreds of Newton High seniors are being honored tonight for their hard work, but one student is getting much more than a diploma. According to researchers, Georgia is one of the 5 states that have the highest risk for civil unrest and militia activity after today's election. Businesses across Metro Atlanta have already started to board up their stores in preparation for any protests that could possibly happen once the polls close tonight. 2020 has also been a racially charged year, evoking long overdue change for Black lives, addressing issues such as systemic racism, the injustices crippling the Black community, and police brutality. The NFL was among the many corporations to condemn racism and support Black lives, even releasing a video on Twitter saying, "We, the NFL, admit we were wrong for not listening to NFL players earlier, and encourage all to speak out and peacefully protest. We, the NFL, believe Black lives matter." However, players like Colin Kaepernick and Junior Gillette are still, to this day, without a job and haven't played a single game in years. Gillette says he has been blackballed by the league since 2018 after he spoke out against racial pay discrimination.
I spoke out on pay discrimination because I saw that my white teammate, Trent Murphy, who's, a white guy from Stanford, who meets the status quo, I'd say is he gets an offer that basically had 1,000% more in guaranteed money than I did.
People across the U.S. have been coming together to protest in support of what's going on in Puerto Rico. And here in Atlanta, it was no different. This was the scene just outside the National Center for Civil and Human Rights building. Over 200 Puerto Ricans surrounded each other singing, showing their pride, and making sure their voices are heard here in Atlanta as they joined the 1 million people protesting in Puerto Rico. Today marks 12 days since a private chat between Governor Ricardo Rosselló and his inner circle were leaked.
So the people will not forget what has been said and what has been done for the 4,645 people in Maria, for our health, our public health system, for our education system, for our children.
Governor Rosselló also joked about the casualties caused by Hurricane Maria, sparking a historic protest of hundreds of thousands flooding the streets of San Juan, Puerto Rico, calling for his resignation.
He has to resign. He has no other option.
Diana Ortega says the growing Puerto Rican community here in Atlanta is remaining hopeful. It is believed that these protests will continue if the governor does not choose to step down.
We want to take our voice. We want to be heard.
In Atlanta, Kayla Rivera, CBS 46 News. A local Atlanta woman is using her company to bridge the gap between inmates and their children. How her act of kindness has touched over 50 families in the metro Atlanta area.
This from my daddy? This is from Daddy. Yes, it is.
Michelle Williams is putting the final touches on a teddy bear she handcrafted with love. Last year, she started a full-service balloon company called My Kind of Dad. Husband Jay was her inspiration.
I looked at him and I said, if I ever had to have a dad again in my younger years, you would be my kind of dad.
Through her company, she created the Inmates to Children program, where she handmakes balloons for children whose parents are incarcerated.
Everyone makes mistakes in life, but that should never take away from a father being a father to his child or a mother being a mother to their child.
Michelle and Jay sit down with inmates across Metro Atlanta to get a better understanding of what their children like. They recently stopped by the Douglasville Sheriff's Office to surprise 5 little girls with a present and a handwritten letter from mommy or daddy.
This is for mommy.
Talia received an LOL surprise teddy bear from her mommy. Her grandmother was brought to tears as she read her daughter's words out loud.
I'm about to cry. And you mean everything to me. I can't wait to come home and hug you and make cookies with you.
I try to give what I did not have as a child.
4-year-old Diane was amazed when she received a pink teddy bear from her daddy. He was recently incarcerated, and it's unclear when he will get out. Her grandparents tell me it's been difficult not having their son around.
It's hard on us, but you know, we kind of understand a little bit more. They really don't know what's going on, just that mom or daddy is not around.
Michelle and Jay give out these teddy bears twice a month, but admit it's been hard to do it more often.
We won't stop this. This will always be continuous to go on. All we need is help to keep our hands going to bridge the gap between the families.
Before the girls left, some of them wanted to let mommy and daddy know they too are thinking about them.
I love you, Mommy. I love them.
Kayla Rivera, CBS 46 News.
Growing up, I would dream of throwing the ball around the yard with my father.
The story Demetrius Howard is reading is one he knows also.
The reality is I could never do any of these things with my dad. I seen that other people were going through some of the things that I was going through in life. And it really humbled me to see that and be able to help others.
When Demetrius was only 3 months old, his father was shot and killed. He became a victim, but that didn't stop him from wanting to help others.
I feel like growing up without a father could really impact anyone's childhood.
For months, Demetrius has been preparing to present an award to a hardworking senior.
I hope he's happy. I hope he's very excited, as excited as I am.
His mother, Tamika, was surprised at the response.
Reading the letters, it's like, wow, like there's so many other people who are faced with the same challenges.
I am Demetrius Howard.
That's why today is so important for him. Hundreds of Newton High seniors are being honored tonight for their hard work, but one student is getting much more than a diploma. With the help of his supporters,
I created this scholarship to help a victim.
He is giving away $1,000, a computer, and a printer to a young man who shares his same story. That young man is Jaden Snipe. When he was just 2 months old, his father was killed. He says this scholarship means a lot to him, knowing he's not the only one who went through a similar experience.
To know someone in my community that walked the same halls that I did, it brings closure and light to what I went through and what I grew up with, the obstacles I had to face as well.
As for Demetrius, he plans on raising money for next year, always hoping that somewhere his father is proud.
Knowing that my father was looking at my every action.
In Newton County, Kayla Rivera, CBS 46 News. Tonight, a mother says she feels helpless after her child was denied a COVID-19 test.
The hospital is like, we need him to go now. And so I knew that something was wrong.
After experiencing a high fever and a nasty cough, 3-year-old Mason Adair was rushed to the hospital.
He was just completely out of it. I could barely keep him awake.
His mother's worst fear, Mason was immediately put in isolation.
That's kind of why I'm getting a little emotional now, just because, you know, I knew when they were rushing this up there that this wasn't just a little thing, that something was wrong.
Doctors confirmed Mason had a viral and a bacterial infection.
And so it just made me feel like I failed him.
But despite showing symptoms of COVID-19, fever, cough, and shortness of breath, Mason was unable to get tested.
I just wish that we could have had a positive answer as to yes or no if he had it, because the last thing I want to do is to put any other parent in the position that we're in right now.
His mother urges the healthcare system to reassess who gets tested and who does not.
Who we're testing, because a 3-year-old with an underlying health condition should have gotten a test over someone who is asymptomatic, who's feeling perfectly fine.
Mason is now back home. His mother is putting the entire household under a full quarantine, maintaining social distancing, trying to ensure everyone's safety. In Atlanta, Kayla Rivera, CBS 46 News.